cricket game in the jungle. Sunday morning right after church, big crowd assembled. Donkey say me fuss, I batting, you know I love me cricket. Crapper sit down behind the stumps, he say alright, I keep in wicket. Giraffe and kangaroo had fine leg, snake down in the gully. Umpire parrot in the tree, he say alright fellas, are you ready? And he wants the crowd start to sing very loud if you hear them. Hit the ball, donkey, hit the ball. Cover, drive him and make him ball. Hook the man like Kali Charan and put him straight in the stand. Elephant turn and pick up the ball. He say, I open the bowling. Monkey say, boy, the size of you. If you say you're bowling, you're bowling. Well, elephant walk about half mile, and then he started running. He coming down like a express train, the whole blasted jungle shaking. When he see elephant coming down, old donkey start to shiver. Red Ants hit him a couple bites. He say, man, bat and pads together. And then the ones, the crowd start to sing very loud if you hear them. Hit the ball, donkey, hit the ball. Cover, drive him and make him ball. Hook the man like Vivian Richard and put him straight out the yard. Elephant coming down like a horse, jump up high and deliver. The ball come down like a thunderbolt and bust the bat into splinter. Liquid donkey, liquid crappo, liquid snake in the gully. Lick down giraffe and kangaroo and gone whistling down to the boundary. Well, Red Ants lie down flat on the ground. He say, Lord, that elephant crazy. He must be thinking he's Courtney Walsh or the man from Antigua Courtly. And the ones, the crowd start to sing very loud if you hear them. Hit the ball, donkey, hit the ball. Cover, drive him and make him ball. Hook the man like Brian Lara and put him out the pasture. Scatteration out on the field, every man jack was hiding. Crapo lie down like if he dead, giraffe and kangaroo limping. But Mr. Parrot, the umpire, he said, all you hold some straight. Elephant, that was a no ball.
Yes, my name is Jasmine Kaldata from Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter. And I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Well, elephant walk about half mile, and then he started running. He coming down like a express train, the whole blasted jungle shaking. When he see elephant coming down, old donkey start to shiver. Red Ants hit him a couple bites. He say, man, bat and pads together. And then the ones, the crowd start to sing very loud if you hear them. Hit the ball, donkey, hit the ball. Cover, drive him and make him ball. Hook the man like Vivian Richard and put him straight out the yard. Elephant coming down like a horse, jump up high and deliver. The ball come down like a thunderbolt and bust the bat into splinter. Liquid donkey, liquid crapo, liquid snake in the gully. Lick down giraffe and kangaroo and gone whistling down to the boundary. Well, red ants lie down flat on the ground. He said, Lord, that elephant crazy. He must be thinking he's Courtney Walsh or the man from Antigua, Courtly. And the ones in the crowd start to sing very loud if you hear them. Hit the ball, donkey, hit the ball. Cover, drive him and make him ball. Hook the man like Brian Lara and put him out the pasture.
All right, hey, guess what? Good evening, and it's Saturday, right? The 23rd of December, 2023. The 23rd of December, 2023. Many of you might be busy shopping. Many of you might be busy cooking. Many of you might be busy just probably taking a drink. Some might be busy doing other stuff. All right, but we are busy here trying to get proper information to you, all of you. So let me give you guys just about 30 seconds or 29 seconds or 28 seconds to share the link, because the Guyana police force has to stop with this propaganda. They have to stop with the propaganda. They have to stop playing the games on behalf of the PPP, the corrupt PPP regime, because it doesn't look good at all. And no one, once they continue to operate in this manner, no one will be able to trust the Guyana police force. And so what is disturbing? What is disturbing is the fact that the Guyana police force, they want you guys to believe this. And this is a report that they put out earlier, just about maybe 2 hours or so ago. And this is what they're saying. The big headline on the Guyana Police Force Facebook page, social media page, says here, Rickford Burke lied. In other words, they're saying that Rickford Burke, as it pertains to this particular issue, is a liar. And I repeat, the Guyana Police Force, they're saying Rickford Burke has lied. And they expect people and people in Guyana or outside of Guyana to just accept what the Guyana Police Force has put out, their press release, and just run with it. So because they say Rickford Burke has lied, then all of us must join with the Guyana Police Force in saying that, in agreeing with them. That is what they want us to do. But when they came out with this report, something wasn't adding up. Something wasn't adding up at all, because Rickford Burke has been public on this matter. He has made several allegations, leveled several serious allegations against the Guyana Police Force and members of the Guyana Police Force. We're leaving out the corrupt PPP regime for now, because we know that this is what the PPP is up to. Let's read this bogus report coming from the Guyana Police Force. It says, Rickford Burke lied. The Guyana Police Force continues to communicate, and I just want to make this clear. I'll repeat this. The Guyana Police Force continues to communicate with the High Command of the New York Police Department, NYPD, in relation to wanted man Rickford Burke. Recent communication with the NYPD confirms that Burke made no report to the NYPD against a Guyana Police Force officer and the process server who served him certain legal documents. He continues to allege publicly that he made such reports to the NYPD, the New York Police Department. Now, they are saying that Rickford Burke lied. That is what they have said. What do you guys think before I get on to this story? What do you guys think? And they went on in the next paragraph to say, the Guyana Police Force wishes to remind the public that filing a false report to law enforcement officials, whether local or overseas, blah, 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 blah. They, let them focus on the Guyana Police Force, not overseas. That they have no jurisdiction, so they got to stop with this nonsense. What do you guys think? How many of you guys believe the Guyana Police Force story before I move on? How many of you guys believe the Guyana Police Force story? Let me see you guys, all of you. Good evening to you. How many of you guys believe this story that the Guyana Police Force is saying that Rickford Burke has lied? That Rickford Burke has lied. That he has made no police report on this matter. How many of you guys believe the Guyana Police Force? And if some of you, if we do have some trench crappos here, they can disbelieve. It's okay. Those are, and at this point in time, I'm sure that the trench crappos are very smart. But how many of you guys believe the police version? So far, I'm reading your comments, and a lot of you, or almost all of you, do not believe the police report. And one of the things, you guys already know what has happened here, right? Because I've already done my work. I've already done my homework. I've already done the homework. I already have the answer. I shouldn't even continue with the program other than just to laugh at this particular report coming from the Guyana Police Force. Big headline, Rickford Burke lied. And everybody must run with that story that Rickford Burke has lied. That is what they want people to believe. So here is what happens. Here is what happens. I don't know how to tell you guys this here, but something is wrong with the Guyana Police Force, guys. We saw what happened, and I will get to my revelation, mind you. We saw what they did when it came to the allegations that Azruddin Mohammed, of course, allegations that Azruddin Mohammed participated or was responsible, mind you, all allegations in the death of Paper Short. And we saw when Detective Sergeant Bascom came out and made his revelations and so forth and so on. We saw all of that. And what we also, maybe the public didn't know, is that the policeman in question here now that came and allegedly served Burke with that summons, that policeman was responsible for certain things within this Paper Shorts investigation. And so after the policeman, Sarabu, apparently was going in the direction that the leadership of the Guyana Police Force and those big politicians in the PPP didn't want, they swiftly removed Sarabu from that particular responsibility. They removed him as quickly as possible, and I believe they sent him at Alberton Police Station or somewhere. So they removed him from the scene quickly as possible. But at this press conference, they claimed that they never recorded this press conference. Police force holding a press conference, they got all of these devices, and then they tell you, the public, that they never recorded the press conference. And they expect you, all of you in the public, to believe that they didn't record that press conference that they held. But now, and many folks in public believe that they're lying. But this is the very police force that, as we come back out to this release that they issued about 2 hours ago, is saying that the Guyana police force wishes to remind the public that filing a false report to law enforcement officials, in other words, they're saying nobody should lie. Nobody should file a false report, right? But they, in my opinion, that is, they lied to the public when they held a press conference, and they later claimed that that press conference was not recorded. There was no recording at this press conference. And I'm almost certain that all of you don't believe that. But here it is. You had the acting commissioner of police at that press conference, the crime chief at that press conference, or the senior officers at that press conference. They called this press conference to address the issue of whether Azruddin Mohammed and who is lying and who's not lying. They called a press conference for that. And at the end of the press conference, we were hearing that it was never recorded. And so back then, as I put here, note, this is the very press conference the police legal advisor, Mandel Moore, is claiming that the Guyana police force didn't record, even though it was streamed live by the police force Facebook page and was subsequently deleted. The question is, why did they delete the press conference, their own press conference, from their own public page, according to information, mind you? They deleted that press conference. The question is, why? What is it that they have to hide? Is it that they're trying to cover up for Azruddin Mohammed? That's just a question. Are they trying to cover up for Azruddin Mohammed? And the question is, why? The other thing, why did they go after the policeman who blew the cover? Why did they go after this policeman? Police Sergeant Dion Bascom has over recent days made a number of public, wholly unsubstantiated allegations which have been given wide media coverage. That is according to Hicken. So right away, they rushed out to defend Azruddin Mohammed in saying that this policeman is lying. And guess what they did after that? They charged the policeman with a bunch of charges. Lots and lots of charges. And now let's get back to this issue here. Wanted man, according to them. Wanted man, Rickford Burke, court date set. One of his lawyers out in Guyana, Roysdale Ford, and he has many lawyers in Guyana, I'm told. And so Mr. Roysdale Ford has decided to confront legally the magistrate, and that the magistrate has absolutely no legal standing in issuing a summon to be served outside of the jurisdiction. If you have no jurisdiction in another territory, how then would you be able to legally issue? And that's the question hopefully some lawyers would be able to answer. That you issue a summon for somebody to be served that summon in another jurisdiction. Something isn't adding up. And the fact that the PPP quacks rushed immediately to confront what Roysdale Ford has said, Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford, again, raised a lot of questions and red flags. But the main issue here this evening, again, as we go back to the police report, issued about 2 hours ago, and the headline is, Rickford Burke lied. Rickford Burke lied. And it says here, the Guyana police force continues to communicate with the high command of the New York Police Department, NYPD, in relation to wanted man Rickford Burke. Good. That's what they're saying. Not sure what they're communicating about. But what I'm concerned about is the next paragraph that says, recent communication with the NYPD confirms that Burke made no report. That is according to the Guyana Police Force press release, that they have been able to confirm that Burke made no report to the NYPD against a GPF, Guyana Police Force officer, and the process server who served him certain legal documents at his premises in New York, although he continues to allege publicly that he made such reports to the NYPD. So, according to them, Burke has made no such report. None whatsoever. But according to us, and according to my little investigation, now let's try to put two and two together. This is Burke's, in front of Burke's house, Brooklyn, New York. On the night the incident, I believe, on the night the incident occurred, where Mr. Burke has alleged that two men who were armed, according to Mr. Burke, were armed with guns, approached him, and he felt threatened. He called the cops, and this was what happened. This is what, according to what we're seeing in this video, this is what happened. Now, that's a brief clip that I got with regards to police in front of Burke's house. In front of Burke's house. Now, when police are called to your premises, they're not called to sit down and eat pulaury or white pudding with sour or black pudding or cook up or dal and rice. They're not called there for that. Once they are called because someone has a report to make. Now, again, let's take a look at what we have here. Now, those are policemen. Those are NYPD policemen in front of the house of Rickford Burke. According to sources, the night the incident occurred. And the police, as I have said earlier, they weren't there to sit down and high five, give Burke a high five, or sit down and play checkers or listen to Bob Marley, man to man. No. How many of you, and I'm sure that they are real policemen who are watching right now, real policemen are watching right now, and women who can attest to the fact that once a police goes to your house, it means that someone placed a call concerning an incident. And once the police officers get on the scene, they will have to question the individual or hear from the individual why you placed this call. The individual will say X, Y, and Z. This is what transpired, and I have placed this call because of X, Y, and Z. Now, so far, are you guys following me with this story, right? I am basically here, getting back to the second paragraph, recent communication with the NYPD. Recent communication with the NYPD confirms that Burke made no report to the NYPD. None whatsoever. No report he has made. None. According to the Guyana Police Force. This is what they want you guys to believe. That is what they want you guys to believe. But of course, I'm not going to sit by and just put my hands up and say, oh yeah, okay. The Guyana Police Force issued a statement and we're all going to believe it. And it's and we're done with it. No. So at around a little over an hour ago, I have made contact with the NYPD. Again, I repeat, and I want to make this point really clear because I do have the evidence. And if I say I have something, I have something. I have also in my possession, of which for obvious reasons, wouldn't be revealed to you guys. And what do I have in my possession, mind you? I'll just briefly state. Okay, so about a little over an hour ago, I placed a call to NYPD, and I explained to the NYPD X, Y, and Z. I explained to the NYPD that a statement was made by the Guyana Police Force on the Guyana Police Force Facebook page, alleging that no report was made. Absolutely none. No report was made concerning a particular individual. NYPD and I had a conversation for a few minutes, a little back and forth. Hey, such and such, this is it. This is why I'm seeking such and such. And in order to ascertain whether it is true or not, there has to be a complaint made. It was established that a complaint was made. Once a complaint is made, there is a complaint number. I have in my possession the complaint number. I also have in my possession the case number. NYPD complaint number and the case number. Are you guys following me, right? Meanwhile, the police, the Guyana Police Force they're claiming that Burke is a liar. And that according to them, the NYPD, according to the Guyana Police Force, they are claiming that the Guyana Police Force continues to communicate with the high command of the New York Police Department in relation to wanted man Rickford Burke. The next paragraph says here, and this is where I'm interested in, the next paragraph. Recent communication with the NYPD confirms that Burke made no report to the NYPD against a Guyana Police Force officer and the process server who served him certain legal documents at his premises in New York, although he continues to allege publicly that he made such reports to the NYPD. Now, I'm basically saying here, look, if we do our homework, it's very simple. It's either the NYPD would say that no such report was made, and of course, the Guyana Police Force would be accurate. Or it would be confirmed that a report was made, and then it will prove that the Guyana Police Force, they're the ones who are lying. In this situation, and I wish to repeat, that I've done my homework. And the result is that a report was made by Rickford Burke about the incident at his home regarding the GPF officer and the process server. A report was made. And now, I decided to go a little further without not wanting to divulge much information about other investigations. I'm confining myself to this particular incident to say to all of you who are watching this program here tonight that, and I would say that the Guyana Police Force has strayed from the truth. They are not telling you, members of the public, the truth. And the question is, why? Why is it that they feel comfortable to deceive the public? Why? The report, the complaint about this incident at Rickford Burke's home wasn't made 3 hours ago, or it wasn't made right after the police issue this wishy-washy press release that Burke rushed down quickly to get a report in. No. A report, I repeat, a report was made days ago, almost immediately after the incident happened. A report was filed with the NYPD, according to the NYPD, who confirmed that to me. This is not no third or second-hand information. There is a complaint number. There is a case number, and they are detectives on the matter. So you guys try to put 2 and 2 together. What's happening? You know, I wasn't shocked when NYPD folks confirmed that on such and such a day, Rickford Burke, or a report was made by Burke about this incident. Who then in the NYPD high command? And if the Guyana police force is lying, and we know that they are, at least I know that they are, because I have the evidence to prove that they're lying. What then should happen to these officers, the senior ranks of the Guyana police force, who are peddling an untruth about an ongoing investigation? What should happen to those? Should they be penalized? Should the public have confidence continue to, I mean, we already know the confidence is very low, public confidence. But what has happened here? You guys know I'm definitely not kidding around. I have the evidence that the Guyana police force has lied. And I'm very disappointed. Well, I'm not surprised that this is what members of the public have to be subjected to. Now, if they could lie about this, just think about what they have done to lie and trumped up charges against others in Guyana. We cannot, the general public cannot believe the members of the Guyana police force. We just cannot believe them. They cannot be trusted. In all of this, they cannot be trusted. And it is further evidence that the corrupt PPP regime is in control of the Guyana police force. What are they going to do now? The question is, what are they going to do now that they are actually caught lying? I don't know what you guys think. Let's see what. Let's try to get in touch with Burke to see if anything can be added to this or not, if at all. Because this is dangerous. This is more than dangerous. We'll try to get in touch with Mr. Burke. So we have him on the line. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, just quickly, Rickford, we want to touch on this situation where the Guyana police force, they're alleging that you're a liar. Based on my investigation, it proves that you're not a liar, that a report was filed days ago with the NYPD concerning the incident. And now that the Guyana police force has been caught with its pants down. What's your comment on this revelation that the Guyana police force is now lying?
Mark, we issued a statement since I think the 17th of December, which is last Sunday, explaining clearly that I reported the matter to the police. This is not in my matter where an attempt was made to serve somebody with a notice. This is a crime. This is a crime. This was a crime. This is a criminal matter. And the matter was reported to the NYPD the same day, the 16th. The NYPD called in the FBI. So there's now dual investigations by the New York City Police Department and the FBI. But Mark, we have to remember, this is the same guy in the police force and or in Boston was shot and killed, issued a very mendacious statement lying to the nation, saying that Mr. Boston was killed in a confrontation with the police. We know that that was a lie. Mr. Boston was shot in his sleep and murdered, executed. This is the same leadership of the Guyana police force that issued a statement when Quindon Bacchus from Golden Grove was killed. They issued a mendacious statement lying to the nation that Quindon Bacchus was killed because he was in a shootout with the police who he attempted to sell guns. That was a lie. The chairman of the Guyana Police Complaints Authority investigated the matter, and the evidence confirmed that a rank of the Guyana police force tried to set up Quindon Bacchus over personal matter, and they murdered him. They executed him. So how can you trust anything the Guyana police force says?
Precisely, and we have caught them on numerous occasions lying and lying and lying. But yet, ironically, they're saying that they're urging members of the public not to lie and to file false reports. But here it is in their report, it is false, and they're lying. Because I confirmed, the NYPD confirmed that yes, a report was lodged by Mr. Burke on such and such a day. And this leaves me not necessarily baffled, because but I want the general public to know that the police force, they're lying on this issue. Who in high command of the NYPD that they could be in constant touch with and is unaware that a report was filed? The NYPD is not the Guyana police force. Where do we go from here?
Not only that, Mark. Yeah. Mark, I sent the statement to a chief of the NYPD who said to me, it appears that the Guyana police force is now trying to obstruct the investigation. And he is going to investigate to see if the NYPD spoke to any NYPD police officer, and there should be an investigation to figure out if they attempted to obstruct the investigation.
And I think that is where it's leading based on my investigation at this end. Whatever it is, I'm sure that the general public can read between the line, and I don't think much should be divulged or any further. This is definitely because we saw what Barra Jagdeo did to you at his press conference, describing you as a half man. But we want to be able to deal with better issue.
Can I respond to that, Mark? Can I respond to that?
Well, I kind of suspect what your response would be, but let us, since we are on radio, let us try to keep it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, Mark, the Guyana police force has now become the outlet for excrement from the PPP. The Guyana police force, everything they say there, people should dismiss it as excrement fit for the outhouse at Freedom House. The Guyana police force has become so dirtied. Their image is in such tatters. Every day, people are proving that they have no credibility. And so the nation should have absolutely no trust in anything the Guyana police force says. And I want to know why they are so invested in speaking on behalf of the PPP. Who in the Guyana police force is so invested in speaking on behalf of Barrett Jagdeo and the PPP that they can go to Freedom House, get a statement handed to them, go back to Eve Leary and give it to their public relations people and have them release it? Who in the Guyana police force is so obligated to Barrett Jagdeo and the PPP that they will be doing the bidding of the PPP? They have completely politicized the Guyana police force. Police officers are messaging me saying they're embarrassed. And but we have to remember that everyone in the leadership of the Guyana police force was removed under the Granger administration for misconduct. And these are the people with no credibility, no integrity, running the Guyana police force and issuing statements on political instructions. We can't expect better.
Absolutely. Mr. Rickford Burke there on the matter. Rickford, thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah. All right. Rickford Burke there giving his view on what's really happening. But at the end of the day, this is just to make you guys aware that the Guyana police force, I repeat, the Guyana police force is lying. They're not telling the truth because it has been confirmed by NYPD, that a report was made, a complaint, along with the complaint number, along with the case number, along with the time, and along with the date the report was made. That's exactly. We have another report that Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford lashes out. Worrying trend, mind you, in government's approach towards dissent. Worrying trend. Washington, D.C., December 22nd. It says here, in an era where the defense of democratic principles is more vital than ever, a recent overreach by the Guyana government has sent shockwaves through the Guyanese diaspora in the United States. Opposition Member of Parliament, Senior Counsel Roysdale Ford, has raised a clarion call against what he describes as an egregious breach of both national and international law by the government of Guyana. We will definitely get into that maybe either tomorrow, maybe Monday, but we're not giving up on this story. We are just not giving up on it at all. The Guyana police force is now on trial. They have been caught once again lying. And I'm saying this publicly. They have been caught lying because the facts are not what the PPP controlled Guyana police force want you guys to believe. It is far from that. Far, far from that. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
This is attorney Shellon Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
All right, welcome back to this special program to prove that the Guyana Police Force, someone obviously who issued that press release, they are not telling, that person is not telling the truth at all. And we have confirmed right here on 107.1 FM that Rickford Burke has filed a report with the NYPD. Burke has filed a report with the NYPD. And just to go back to what we have Miss Washington. But before we go to Miss Washington, and good evening to Miss Washington, the report from the Guyana Police Force says that the Guyana Police Force continues to communicate with the High Command of the New York Police Department in relation to wanted man, Rickford Burke. Recent communication with the NYPD confirms that Burke made no report to NYPD against a GPF officer and process server who served him certain legal documents at his premises in New York, although he continues to allege publicly that he made such a report to the NYPD. Ms. Shellon Washington, attorney at law, is with us this evening. Ms. Washington, I confirmed this evening with the NYPD that Mr. Burke filed a complaint days ago with them. I have the complaint number, I have the case number, and so forth. How does this make the police force in Guyana look? Please, ma'am. Good night.
Hi, good night, Mark, and good night to everyone listening. This makes the Guyana Police Force confirm to the public that they're not to be trusted. Because if the Guyana Police Force is going to take the time out to address the people of Guyana and feed them with more false information, then that is very telling. Because as you and I know, in the United States, in New York, it's very easy to confirm whether or not a police report was made against an individual. That information could be easily retrieved by calling the precinct in which the complaint was made and asking questions, and they'll provide the answers, including a report number. And it could be easily confirmed by any person, not just the Guyana Police Force, whether or not that report was made. And we know, we have evidence, we have proof that that report was in fact made as alleged by Rickford Burke. So people should lose all confidence in the Guyana Police Force. They should come out and they should tell the Guyana Police Force they need to, somehow that force needs to be defunded. The Guyana Police Force needs to be defunded because it's a fraudulent, deceptive organization that is not serving the purpose of the public, which is to protect and to serve, not to feed the public with lies, deceit, and deception, and to be controlled by the Guyana government. The police force in Guyana need to be defunded, defund the police force of Guyana, and they need to be deregulated, like remove the force completely, because this is completely false and they're feeding the public with malicious information.
And they should be, maybe they're not that smart at all, that know that if they make such a public statement about something and it later proved to be incorrect, or their attempt to spread propaganda on behalf of the PPP, that it can be proven. And which is what I did. I proved that the Guyana Police Force is lying on this matter, that a complaint was filed. I got the case number, the complaint number, and the day and time this report was filed. They are claiming that they are in constant touch with the High Command of the NYPD, and the High Command of the NYPD is saying to them that no such report was filed. And I spoke with NYPD, and they said, yes, X, Y, and Z. Story done. Prove it.
But Mark, you could tell from what they're saying that that information is incorrect. They said the High Command. Who is the High Command of the Police Department of New York, first of all? And the second problem with that statement is that no one communicates with the High Command. What happens is, if you want to find out whether or not a complaint was filed against you, you speak with the police officer who answers the hotline. There's a line that you call to retrieve information regarding charges that were filed against a particular individual. So right away, if they're telling you, because the police force in New York does not, and I repeat, does not operate in the same manner as the one in Guyana. There's a particular order. You will never get to the person in command. You probably have to be personal friends. And I know that there's no such thing as it relates to the police force in Guyana and the police force in New York. There's no commingling there. There's no close kinship or anything of the sort. And to make such an allegation is fallacious. So what I believe is No phone call was made, so they didn't verify anything. They just rushed in haste because they're fed with lies from above. The lies, we know where the lies is coming down from. It's coming down from the person in charge in Guyana, the vice president. It's coming down from him to directing the police, the Guyana police force, on what to do. So rather than them fact checking the information, they rush to feed the Guyanese people with lies. That's what they're doing.
You know, and in this another incident concerning this matter, Rosedale Ford Senior Counsel issued a statement saying that the magistrate erred, that the magistrate does not have jurisdiction to issue a warrant outside of the jurisdiction there in Guyana. That seems to be another issue. You touched on that yesterday. Rosedale is on the right.
He's absolutely correct, because with criminal law, jurisdiction is a problem, and everyone knows, everyone who went to law school knows that when it comes to criminal law, jurisdiction could only be exercised on your own soil. And if they want to serve you that summons, they have to bring you on their soil. And in order to serve Rosedale Ford, what Barjagdio should have done, if he believed there was a crime committed, is go get him extradited. And he knows he would not succeed, because in order to succeed with the extradition issue, you have to have a treaty establishing the criminal activity that is being alleged, and then say, well, this is something that you could be extradited for. So I think Barjagdio knows fully well that he's wasting the people of Guyana time on frivolous issue rather than solving real problems, which is hunger, starvation, poverty, homelessness. Those are the real issues he needs to be solving. Rather than running behind somebody you claim is a nobody, why is he so focused on Rickford Burke? Why is Rickford Burke a thorn in Barjagdio's flesh? Why is he so concerned that he's being exposed by an ordinary man? That shouldn't be his focus. His main focus should be on fixing the problems in Guyana. So I think Attorney Rosedale Ford is absolutely correct. Jurisdiction is always going to be a problem when it comes to criminal law. Jurisdiction could be much more vast in civil, but when it comes to criminal, you cannot step outside of your realms. And this is why I said what Rickford Burke should do is take that summons, tear it up, and throw it in the trash where it belongs, because it has no weight, it has no value. It doesn't require him to go before no court or even hire an attorney and waste his resources to send any attorney to represent that. That is fallacious, and it carries no weight. And any trial that the VP tries or attempts to go on based on that incorrectly the summons was served. So if you try to proceed on the trial on the summons that was never even served, the whole trial will be void. It's void. It has no basis, no merit. It will be meritless, and it will be unenforceable. Any penalty that derives from such a void trial would be unenforceable against any person. So I don't think Rickford Burke needs to even have any sleepless night or anything based on this type of criminality by the Guyana police force and the VP of Guyana. That's criminal conduct, actually, coming into the United States to do something of this nature. They should have called the police on these people right away and have the police come and arrest them while they were attempting to serve this summons. They were not legally at Mr. Burke's premises. They had no basis for being at his premises, because what they were doing is trying to do something that they really cannot do. You cannot serve a criminal summons in a foreign jurisdiction. You really can't.
You know, one of the things, knowing how corrupt the PPP regime is, and they are corrupt, some very corrupt senior members of the Guyana police force as well. Watch out. They've been caught now again with their pants down. Watch them try to sneak that a portion of that video that Jagdev spoke about, that there is video evidence, and he hopes that the police would, in other words, he's trying to say to the police, release a portion of that evidence of Rickford Burke being allegedly being served with that summons. Watch out for that, because they are losing this battle on all fronts. On all fronts, they are losing this battle, particularly tonight. they have been exposed of lying, caught again red-handed lying. Quickly before we go, yeah, go ahead, ma'am.
I'm going to say, yeah, absolutely. They've been caught lying. And, you know, even like I said last night, even if there's a video, even if he puts a video out showing the Guyana police force carrying out an illegal activity, which is being present in a foreign country, attempting to serve a summons that has no merit, avoid service, he's only jeopardizing his own force, because then Burke could use that evidence against them and sue them in any event. So putting that video out serve the police force nothing but to put them in trouble, because now the public is going to see the faces of those who attempted that illegal service, and now he's going to be jeopardizing the safety of those people by putting it out there. And there's the other problem. They were trespassing on Mr. Burke's property. So he puts it out there, and those people even come back to New York. They might be arrested for trespass, criminal trespass. So he's only jeopardizing the safety of those police officers. It would serve no good for Bar Jagdio to post a video showing police officers who's supposed to be upholding the law in Guyana, violating the law in another country, in another jurisdiction. He's going to put them in jeopardy, because then they're going to stand the possibility, or they're going to be in jeopardy of being arrested and charged with criminal trespass if they should ever set foot back in New York.
Thank you so much, Ms. Washington. Appreciate your time. But just another piece of information is that there is a ring in the U.S., specifically in the New York area, comprising members of some death squad individuals who have basically found their way in the U.S., along with some senior police officers who travel and they meet with some of these rogue elements, former guys and some other criminals in New York City, whether in New York City or in New Jersey and so forth. And those senior policemen, I have nothing much to say, that there will be counter report filed against them for allegedly being part of a criminal ring to go after opponents of the PPP in the US. And just mind you, that is being investigated as we speak. And you guys know that I just don't talk unless I know for a fact what has happened. Just like I'm saying for a fact that the Guyana Police Force, they're lying on this issue, that Burke has not filed a report on the situation. He has filed a report. There is a case number. There is a complaint number. Detectives are involved in it, and NYPD has revealed that. So, Miss Washington, before you go, again, this is a blow to the public. In Guyana, they are having confidence, whatever little confidence the public may have in the Guyana Police Force, it has been shattered all over again.
Yeah, absolutely. This is serious. This is absolutely serious that the Guyana Police Force would actually make such a dangerous misrepresentation of facts. Like I said, they're supposed to be the ones upholding the law, but rather they're bending and twisting it to suit their position. And you know, in addition to that, you mentioned the entire situation about the death squad, about members being up here. You know, if that's the case, they're going to be hunted down and they're going to be taken down. If the PPP think that they can engage in criminal activities in the United States, they got the arms of the law will reach them and it will take care of them, because the United States doesn't play with criminal activities on their soil. They have the FBI who investigate if there's criminals, international criminals in the United States. They're going to investigate, they're going to find, and they're going to take care of it. And all it takes is for someone to pick up the phone and call the FBI tip line and let them know the names and the location of anybody that PPP sends to New York to try to interfere with the free speech of any person present on the United States soil. So I think the Guyana Police Force need to be very careful. The government of Guyana needs to be very careful with its action, trying to reach international jurisdiction with criminality or criminal conduct. That will not be tolerated on the United States soil, period.
Thank you so much, Attorney at Law Shellon Washington. Appreciate your time. Happy holidays to you and your family again. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you, Mark, and same to you and their viewers out there.
Thank you, Shellon Washington, attorney at law there, uh, giving you the legal side of things. And yeah, sorry about that. Basically, the Guyana police force has been caught red-handed with its pants down. Red-handed. They have lied on this issue. We know they have lied on numerous other issues, but specifically on this one here, we decided to do the show this evening to let you guys know that based on my investigations on this matter as to whether a report was filed or not. I was told that a report was filed, but I just didn't take the word for that and say, oh, a report was filed. I wanted to find out for myself. And so NYPD this evening confirmed that Burke filed a report almost immediately, I believe, if the date is correct, almost immediately after the incident occurred. I do have in my possession the case number. I also have in my possession the detectives involved. I have in the names of the detectives, and also the date and time. So the Guyana police force is definitely being very dishonest on this issue. They have lied again. But let me just say this, though, that those senior officers who are engaged, the allegations that they're engaged in illegal activities in the U.S., spying and plotting, allegedly plotting on U.S. citizens, against U.S. citizens and others for being opponents of the PPP regime. And if ever it is found out that it is revealed that members of the NYPD who are some members of the NYPD who are part of that plot, they will be exposed. I have nothing further to say on that issue, other than if there is such a ring, it will be exposed and demolished. So I have nothing further to say other than the NYPD the NYPD has confirmed that Rickford Burke has filed a report with them. Again, confirmed that Burke has filed a report with the NYPD concerning the incident of a Guyana police force officer and a process server on his premises. Burke has filed a report. And so this here, rubbish, it's a bunch of rubbish. This press release by the Guyana police force that says recent communication with the NYPD confirms that Burke made no report to the NYPD. That is according to the Guyana police force. That is according to them. They are lying. They need to remove that from their page with immediate effect. If I were a lawyer, then right away I will encourage Burke to file a civil lawsuit against the Guyana police force. File a civil lawsuit against them. Sorry, guys. That's before we go, though. The usual thing with the corrupt PPP regime, they will send their folks out, but they're not going to. I dare them to send their folks out on this matter. I dare the Guyana police force to say that what I have said tonight concerning Burke filing a report, a complaint, let them say that is not true. Let them say that. I dare them to say that. But the PPP's lawyer, Sanjeev Dattadin, is through some press release wherever, that it has been established that in English law from as far back as the Magna Carta, that every defendant is entitled to a hearing at his trial, whatever. A defendant's summons can be served on anyone, anywhere. Now, this doesn't make sense this doesn't make sense that a summons can be served anywhere. There's procedures. They have to follow procedures. If a summon is going to be served outside the jurisdiction of Guyana, then they have to be certain legal requirements that will be able to establish and to ensure that it has some sort of legal groundings. So We will have some more lawyers to deal with this particular matter, but you can't just get up and a magistrate just issue a summons to be served in another jurisdiction, knowing very well that they do not have jurisdiction over the matter. Say, for example, if you were to take somebody and try them in New York, in New Jersey, or in Connecticut, the first thing that would have to be established is whether New Jersey or Connecticut or New York, whichever one, whether they have jurisdiction, whether the court has jurisdiction. It's just like if you are going to go to arrest somebody in an NYPD officer is just going to walk over into New Jersey and arrest somebody just like that. You have to have jurisdiction. And so there's certain procedures that you have to follow. I don't know whether the Guyana government followed those procedures. We don't know. But what we do know, though, is that, mind you, I'm not a lawyer. I leave this here to people like Roysdale Ford. Folks like Roysdale Ford to actually senior counsel. Let them comment on this here. But what I do know for a fact, though, is concerning the police report. Concerning the police report issued tonight, that Burke did not file, and I'm just sticking to that, right? That Burke did not file a complaint. It is wrong. The Guyana Police Force is lying. They are caught lying. They are caught lying again, lying. And they ought to be ashamed of themselves. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. And they have lots of different things that we can go into. For example, you guys may be aware recently the Justice Department charged 8 in Chinese harassment plot in the U.S. Chinese harassment plot in the U.S., So those senior members of the Guyana Police Force, we know who they are. If they feel that they could come to the U.S. and plot against U.S. citizens, plot against individuals who are U.S. citizens and may be opponent of the PPP regime, and that they're able to get away with that, they got to think twice. They got to think twice. But for now, I just leave you guys with that and a little bit of hush-hush. My name is Mark Benchop. I'll be back hopefully tomorrow, same place, same time. And so the police force, the Guyana Police Force, need to come again. They have lied, and they need to remove this press release because, like I've said, I have the evidence that contradicts what the police force is saying here. And it is proved that the police force is lying. Lie, lie, lies. Until later, my name is Mark Benchop. I'm out of here. God bless you. I'm sorry that I had to interrupt your dinner or whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're out at the movies, having a drink, having fun, wherever you are. I'm glad that you were able to entertain us tonight with this bit of information, important information, proving the Guyana Police Force to be a pack of liars. God bless you.
Well, I hear a story from Ken Corsby. Cricket came in the jungle Sunday morning right after church. Big crowd assembled. Donkey say me fuss, I batting. You know I love me cricket. Crapper sit down behind the stumps. He say alright, I keep in wicket. Giraffe and kangaroo at fine leg. Snake down in the gully. Umpire parrot in the tree. He say alright fellas, are they ready? And he wants the crowd start to sing very loud if you hear them. Hit the ball, donkey, hit the ball. Cover, drive him and make him ball. Hook the man like Kylie Charan and put him straight in the stand. Elephant turn and pick up the ball. He say, I open the bowling. Monkey say, boy, the size of you. If you say you're bowling, you're bowling. Well, elephant walk about half mile, and then he started running. coming down like a express train, the whole blasted jungle shaking. When he see elephant coming down, oh donkey start to shiver. Red Ants hit him a couple bites. He say, man, bat and pads together. And then the ones, the crowd, start to sing very loud if you hear them. Hit the ball, donkey, hit the ball. Cover, drive him and make him ball. Hook the man like Vivian Richard and put him straight out the yard. Elephant coming down like a horse. He jump up high and deliver. The ball come down like a thunderbolt and bust the bat into splinter. Lick red donkey, lick red crapo, lick red snake in the gully. Lick down giraffe and kangaroo and gone whistling down to the boundary. Well, Red Ants lie down flat on the ground. He say, Lord, that elephant crazy. He must be chinky, his coat